having too much stuff can actually prevent you from accomplishing your goals. I know that's true. I know that for me, when I feel that I have too much clutter, too much stuff around me, I start to feel very anxious. I start to feel like everything is caving in and I can't find anything. And sometimes it affects my day-to-day. It affects just getting out of the house. I can't find where I put my keys, or I place my bag in a different place, or I really wanted to wear a particular item and I just can't find it because the drawer is just a pile of clothes. Whatever it might be, just think about how all of that frustration, the extra effort because we're disorganized or because we have too much stuff around us, actually prevents us from focusing on the goals, the people, the things that are more important in life. And even more so, there's this huge connection between our outer worlds and our inner worlds. So when you think about your inner and your outer, you want to recognize that they really do reflect each other. The times that our homes are messy, that we're not picking up after ourselves, or that everything feels like it just exploded in your home, is usually a time where you're mentally and you're just running around and your inner world feels it's a little off. So it's always great to just touch base, to take a moment to be mindful and recognize if the outer is suddenly reflecting the inner and the inner the outer. What we're hoping for our inner world is that what? We're hoping it's clarity that we have, clear mind, focused mind. We're hoping that we have good health in our mind, in our inner world. And when we look around our outside world, we're hoping that it feels like a healthy place, that we've got healthy foods around us, not unhealthy snacks, that we have a very low amount of stimuli in the bedroom, that we're able to sleep and give ourselves the rest that we deserve and we need. And lastly, we hope that when we look around our rooms, that the things in it bring us joy and that they don't bring us frustration or stress. And we would want the same thing in our inner, right? We would want to feel joy inside and happiness. So you can really see how the outer reflects inner and inner reflects outer. So now that you made that connection, the best thing to do is to prioritize and then make a project list. So prioritize what's most important to you in order to feel that your inner world and your outer world are at peace. So think about your day-to-day. Don't think about the dream project or I want every mason jar in my pantry. Think about the things that affect your day-to-day, the parts of your day that get frustrated, even just getting dressed. Think about, do you lose your sunglasses or your eyeglasses or your keys because you don't have a designated area? Do you sometimes have frustrations getting dressed because maybe you have mismatched socks, you can't find it, so you're going through a drawer that's just disorganized? Or maybe it's even just opening the mail, that you just feel really disorganized with your bills and your responsibilities, and so you just let that pile up. It could be emails too. So once you make a list of things that bother you, that prevent you from feeling centered and feeling at peace, then you want to work on that. And that includes the clutter. And after you do that, then you create your projects. You create your projects of solving and creating solutions. So socks, get new socks, donate the ones that are lost. If it has to do with keys and sunglasses, create that organized space. That way you're not going through it again. And if it has anything to do with anxiety based on bills or mail or emails, remember what's most important to you. Maybe have a reflection, which we're going to follow this. We'll do our mindful meditation afterwards, a self-guided meditation, and let's reflect what is bringing us anxiety or bringing that feeling of clutter in our mind, whether it's our inbox or whether it's our mailbox or whether it's our closets. And we're going to let that go so that we can be at peace. And there's a couple more things we're going to address in our meditation that I'm not going to bring up here, that once we connect with it and we make a mental note, it's so much easier to let go. And I hope this helps you. This has been a really great experience for me, just decluttering and finding that connection with the inner world. So I hope this helps you. Okay, I'll see you in the meditation. Thank you. Okay, so I thought it would be a wonderful idea to start our decluttering project by doing a self-guided meditation. And the reason for this is because many of us have a connection to our possessions, to our clutter, to our stuff. And sometimes we need to be in a better space before we can go around our rooms and make the decision if we keep it or if it's time to move on. Oftentimes we might even need a day or two to sit with it. So my recommendation is to bring a box or a bag around your rooms and to easily pick out the items which we find no joy in, that we feel like it's time to move forward with them. And you don't have to make it overwhelming. You just have to make it a fast decision because you're going to listen to your heart and your gut. Now, you will have these other items that might have some sort of attachment to you, and those are the items we have to sit with a little longer. For those items, I recommend placing them in a box. And once you have them in a box, I do feel it's super helpful. I love using a little hand sanitizer. I feel like what I do is I love to sterilize my hands, sanitize. I love lavender and lemon. And I feel like there is a ritual in getting rid of items, to be mindful of them. So I like to, at first, as I said, we're going to do a meditation. But after your meditation, you're going to go to that box and you are going to touch each item and to really see if it brings you joy. And if it doesn't, then it's time to let it go. And that will be the final thank you for being in my life. It's time to move on and donate it. We're going to start our meditation, and one thing I love to do is I love to clear the air. Eucalyptus spray has always been my favorite, which is why I ended up making it into a product, but I love the sense of clarity it brings, and so I think that's very important in our mental and our focus when we're thinking about something like this. And I'll share some other items that I have. I also am holding a crystal. This is all about clearing the space, clearing the air, change, new beginnings. So I'm going to hold this in my hand, in my passive hand. And lastly, of course, like as we know, I love purifying. I'm going to put a little bit of mist, salts to detox. I feel that part of our home and decluttering has to do with also decluttering our mind and purifying our home and our mental. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a bow, 3 bows. We're going to open our hands. We're going to sit straight. And now let's think about our project. Let's think about our priorities. Let's think about the items. Let's know that we do not have attachment to material items. One of the hardest type of item to declutter is a gift. And I'm going to think about if some of these items that I have, if they were given to me, if they represent something or someone, and I'm going to remember in my heart that the sentimental value, that the essence of the gift by the giver is already in my heart. I'm going to thank them. I'm going to think of them. I'm going to be grateful for the time these items stayed, for the gesture from my friends or family. You're going to think about all of this. You're going to make your peace that it's time to let go and to move forward. You're going to stay here as long as you want. Make sure to do your deep breaths, breathing in, holding it, breathe out. We're going to do deep breaths, breathing in. Feel your lungs, fill the space, and then let it go. Continue with this exercise, with the big, deep breaths, filling your space the way you fill your home with essential items at that time. You nourish your home, you nourish you, but after a certain point, just like our breath, we hold it in, we hold it, and at some point, we let it go. And that letting it go is sometimes the best thing we can do to nourish our body, to nourish our mind, and to create a home that nourishes us. Stay here as long as you would like. And when you are completed with this exercise, with this meditation, make sure to respect your practice with a bow.